Good afternoon, Rebels.
Hey everybody.
On another beautiful day, I am here with Sarah Galambos with Unique Wellness Studios.
And Maria Angelova with Rebellious International.
And we are Unique Rebel. Sarah,
Yes.
today's topic, another hot topic.
Hot topic. I'm going to throw it out there. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, sounds so easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most important thing about why is forgiveness important?
Why is forgiveness important? I think, in my experience, strength and hope, that forgiveness is so important so that you can move forward.
Yes.
You're not shackled to the past.
Yes. And I can relate to that. Sarah has been helping me do a lot of work around forgiveness. And it's painful to forgive. Does that sound wrong? That sounds wrong. It's hard to forgive, truly forgive. You know, I think it's one thing to say, I forgive and move on, but then every time you bring up an experience or person or whatever it is, and you still feel that discomfort and you still feel like your throat is closing, that heartbeat increasing, the words that you want to use are maybe with a different vibration, right? You know you haven't forgiven, right?
Right. When you still have an energetic or emotional triggery feeling around it, that means you still have work to do.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing, but I like the way you said it. You know, it's easy to say I forgive and move on, and that's called in the spiritual community is spiritual bypassing.
Mm-hmm.
To just say it and then
Pretend.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so and it's fun. My brother and I were literally talking about this morning. He's on his way in from Kentucky, and we were talking about how you have these childhood memories and things that core wounding and traumas and things that when you're in recovery or you're in a growth mindset, and these are things that you have to look into, address, and forgive. You can do that, and you can do the work around it. The journaling, the breathing, the meditation, and all the tools that you have. And those things don't go away. You may get triggered and they come back around, but because you've done your work, you're at a higher level to address
how
them.
you react to them.
Yeah, and so there's not that, fear constriction and all that physical, emotional sensation that goes with it. When you consistently do the daily practice, this daily awakening program, it's a tool that teaches you how to do these things. And forgiveness is a baseline, I don't know what the word is, attribute, really act that we have to do for yourself first. Forgive yourself.
Yes.
Because then you can start to forgive other people. But it's a skill.
It's a skill, and it's a hard skill. And like some of the things that I have done is I have talked to some of the people that I felt like I need to forgive, or that have stirred me up in things that have happened. And it is hard sometimes. You have to be very vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there, and it's uncomfortable.
It is. And I think one of the biggest things you have to do is you have to decide going in to those fierce conversations, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy?
Yeah, that is so hard when the ego stands in the way, and when you want to be right. It is something else you have to come into acceptance with. Which way do you want to take? And that is because that ego will fight you.
Right.
And I'm speaking from personal experiences for having to be right and having to do this and having to do that. And but at the end, on the other side of forgiveness is, let's say, freedom.
Absolutely.
Not being able to be emotionally controlled by whatever it is that you have to forgive.
And being, and we talked about this before, being responsive to situations and people, places, and things rather than reactive.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean, that one and done and you forgive and you're perfect. It's
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, and you get many, many opportunities. Don't worry about that.
For good or for bad. You get to
There's
practice
unlimited
it lifelong.
opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. So hopefully that was useful. Do let us know if you have any questions. I'd love to interact with you. I have to say this. Some of our videos, I have actually gotten text when people have said thank you about talking about this or talking about that or mentioning this or mentioning that. And it makes me so happy to know that what we're talking about is relevant and that others are watching. So if you have any questions, if anything that you want to talk about, think through, please put a note down there. We would love to create a community where we support each other, because these are topics that are relevant for
We're
all of
always
us.
thinking about this
Oh,
stuff.
in it. Yes. We're talking from experience here. What are the things that we're facing? That's where these topics are coming from. So have a great afternoon.